Hi, everybody. We want to welcome you this afternoon to today's virtual program. We're going to give people a minute or so to keep joining, and I'm going to turn off my phone. But welcome if you're joining us for the first time. Thanks so much. And if you're a longtime viewer, welcome back. I'm just going to give you a quick introduction about how things are going to work today before we dive in. If you have any questions throughout the program, please feel free to drop them into the chat and we'll pass them along to our host, Cindy, and our guest, Jude. We also have closed captioning, which you can maybe see down at the bottom of the screen. Stefan is providing that today. So if you'd like to turn that on or off, if you're on a computer, you can do that at the bottom of the screen. Or if you're on a tablet or a phone, you can go into the settings. So you have to exit out of the session, enter the settings on the app, and then turn the captions on or off. So just a little bit about who we are and what we do. So Turnstile Tours, we're an organization that works in partnership with nonprofit organizations to help them reach the public. So we develop, research, operate tour programs. But since we haven't been able to do that since March, we've been offering these virtual programs. And it's really been a wonderful opportunity for us to engage not only with our existing partnerships that we had before the pandemic, but to really build new partnerships with so many great organizations, small businesses, and of course, restaurants as well. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're actually going to be doing a remote session. So we're not just going to be here in my apartment. We're actually going to be going out to Building 77 at the Brooklyn Navy Yard in just a couple of minutes. So if you are just joining us, feel free to drop into the chat your name and where you're joining us from. Maybe you've been to Grandchamps before, maybe you've been to Building 77. So feel free to share that and any questions you have throughout the afternoon. I'm just going to share a couple of slides about some of the upcoming programs that we have. So we have another program tomorrow. We normally do 3 to 4 programs a week, but we're going to do 2 in a row. Tomorrow, we are going to have back Howard Goldstein, who is the forest ecologist for the Prospect Park Alliance. And we're going to do another remote broadcast from the park. And we're going to take a closer look at some of the trees of the park. Then on the 23rd, we're going to do a special session quite off topic from our normal programming, but we're going to be talking about paper models, and we're going to have an expert in 19th century French art who's going to discuss that with us. Then on the 27th, we're going back to the park to talk about Battle Day, the Battle of Brooklyn in the Revolutionary War. On the 31st, we're going to have a program all about the National Lighthouse Museum on Staten Island. And then on the 2nd, we are continuing a series, but continuing in earnest that we launched last week that is about New York City in World War II. And so for September 2nd, which is officially VJ Day in the United States, we are going to talk about the USS Arizona and the USS Missouri, which are both built at the Brooklyn Navy Yard. September 6th, we're going to do another program about World War II, but this time at the Brooklyn Army Terminal. And then on September 19th, we're doing a special screening of a documentary made by filmmaker Teresa Loon called Every Day is a Holiday, and it's about her father's experience as a prisoner of war in World War II. And we'll be adding more to that lineup as well. So stay tuned, and you can sign up for our newsletter as well, or follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and see all of our upcoming programs. All of this is supported by you, so we really appreciate any support you can provide. We do free programs, but we also do paid programs, and we have a membership program. So if you would like to continue to support us and get access to not only the live paid programs, but also our archive of recordings and other special members only content. And we'll be doing members only in-person events when that becomes feasible. You can get that through our membership. So just go to turnstiletours.com/membership. So just wanted to set things up a little bit, give you a little bit of background on our guest today and where we are broadcasting from. So Cindy right now is with Jude in Building 77. If you don't know where Building 77 is, show you a map. It's one of Grandchamps locations. So you can see their other location is in Bedford-Stuyvesant on Patchen Avenue. But the location we're going to today is in the food manufacturing hub. So this is on the first floor of the building that's right on the corner of Flushing Avenue and Vanderbilt Avenue. And there are a number of food manufacturers and retail outlets and restaurants inside that space. They're all open now for takeout, and that's a space that's normally open to the public as well. So we encourage people to go and check it out. So this is the location that we're going to is their newer location that just opened last year. And they're not too far apart from one another. This is just a more closely zoomed in map. So you can see the Bedford-Stuyvesant location down here, and then this right here is the Brooklyn Navy Yard location. And here is building 77 right over here. This is when the building was still under renovation, so before any of the tenants moved in. But it's right over here, just a couple blocks down from right here, which is building 92, the museum and visitor center, which is currently closed, but building 77 is open. So you can pop in there and check out a number of the eateries. You can also check out, they have a vending machine. If you're looking for a mask or hand sanitizer or any other personal protective equipment, you can go to the vending machine and get it from companies right inside the Brooklyn Navy Yard. Here it is from the outside, just to orient you as to where we're going to be going virtually in just a moment. So here's their counter. So it's right at the entrance. So when you walk in off Flushing Avenue, it's just over to your right. And I just wanted to give a shout out because this is what we had for dinner last night. So it was really fantastic. Their food is so good. So hopefully this program will make you a little bit hungry. But let's bring on our guest today. So we are going to switch views here so that we can see Cindy and Jude.
Hello.
Hey guys.
Do you see us okay? Hi everybody.
Yeah, you sound okay. It looks great.
Okay, great. So many of you at home may know me. My name is Cindy, and I'm from Turnstile Tours. And I'm so delighted to be here today with Judh Grandchamps Jr., who oversees this new location that just opened last year. And we met each other back last year when Turnstile Tours was working with the Brooklyn Navy Yard to start thinking about doing a food tour here. And so we did our very first one right after you opened.
Yeah, that was awesome.
So Jude, what month, like when did you open at this location?
We opened last year, May. It was May 22nd.
Oh, wow.
We had opened. We were supposed to open in February. We ended up opening in May. We just went through our anniversary of opening last May. So we literally just been here like a year and a couple of months.
Yeah, your food is just absolutely, it's so delicious, and we really needed it here at the Navy Yard. So we're happy to have you. So today what we're going to do, we're going to start by kind of talking a little bit about the story behind the business, and then a little bit later on in the program, we're going to dig in on Haitian cuisine and sort of what makes Haitian cuisine unique and what you guys make here. So I guess for starters, if you could give folks at home just an idea about how the business got started, like what the sort of founding story is. It was originally started by your sister and brother-in-law, right?
It's still originally started by my sister and my brother. My brother-in-law, actually.
A brother-in-law.
Yeah, so like when we were younger, my mom used to have people over all the time. And people would be amazed at the cuisine. And they'd always be like, oh, one day you should cater. Or, you should actually open a restaurant. And my sister was, had it in her head or had a vision to actually follow that through. And so, she went, after she got married, she moved into Brooklyn, and the grocery store became available for lease.
Yeah.
And so, my sister was like, hey, let's do it. Let's open up the restaurant. So her and her husband opened up Grandchamps in Bed-Stuy.
Oh, that's so cool. I know we have some photos of that, if Andrew could pull those up in the background. Of your sister and brother-in-law. That would be awesome to see.
Yeah, it was actually pretty awesome. The store that they got So that's my sister and her brother and my brother-in-law. So the store that they got, so originally it was the owner of the store. He actually owned the building and was the grocer in that store, right?
Oh.
So that's her and her kids and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna see some photos here.
So
of
that's what the building looked like when they saw it. And when she was first opening it up, people were really in the neighborhood was really nostalgic about not losing the identity of the store.
It's been there for a long time.
It's been there forever. And so Archie actually, he owned the building and he owned the store. So he was the grocer of the store. And then finally, he decided he wanted to rent it out. And so to kind of pay homage, we didn't get rid of the sign. Like my sister didn't get rid of the sign. They actually took the sign and put it in and made it as part of the interior, just to pay homage and to say kind of thank you, for being a part of the next kind of generation of businesses being in the community and whatnot. So that's what Archie's look like. So we have that in the back. At Grandchamps, we do a lot of as well as a restaurant, we also selling Haitian products. So as you see on that we were doing things like Haitian oils, Haitian peanut butter, like the spicy peanut butter. And we'll show them later. No, we can show them. Yeah. We can actually show them that stuff later on. Okay. We had like Haitian peanut butter. And we were also doing like some of our spices. So as you look, you see some of the Grandchamps branding on some of the spicing. So we wanted to make it like a mini market, so that when you come in, you can get like the little groceries that you need to go home with, and order food, right? And so we had different, and we work with different Haitian vendors, to sell their products through our restaurant as well.
Yeah.
And whatnot, So Grandchamps became sort of like a cultural community.
Right.
Restaurant and whatnot. So so we have like Haitian chocolates that we sell out of Grandchamps. The peanut butter, like I was telling you, but we have Haitian cola.
What is Haitian cola?
Cola la caille. So like the term cola la caille means like soda from home.
Okay.
Right? Cola la caille.
And what does it taste like?
It's fruity. There's one that's a fruit champagne. Kind of fruity. It's kind of hard to explain. You have to. It's like explaining how to eat a strawberry. Right? It's like describing a strawberry to an alien. You got to try it. Yeah. Whenever you get a chance, you come out and you try it.
And this is opening day at the original location, which was back in 2015.
Correct.
Right?
Absolutely. So we took like a family. So that's like family and the in-laws in there. So that's me. Saab, that was Town when he was first young. That's my father, my mom, Sean, my brother, and my sister-in-law. At the opening and whatnot.
Yeah, that's so nice. And I know we have a couple of photos of that location, so people can get a sense of what that looks like here. Yeah. And
so Sean is actually a chef. He's been a chef since he's been like 14. So he's always been in the restaurant business. And when we decided that we wanted to share my mom's recipes, he actually was the one that my mom worked with to kind of perfect it so that we can duplicate it in the restaurant. So he worked him and my mom actually worked in the kitchen, and she talked them through how to do this and how to make that. And with his professional background, was able to kind of duplicate some of the stuff.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's actually a blessing. that we had Sean, and so he was a big part of being able to train other cooks that we brought on, and to be able to make the food taste just as good as my mom has made.
Yeah.
And so it's been fantastic to be able to share Haitian culture with the community in a sense.
And so what sparked for has it always been the case that your mom's food has just been absolutely delicious, like her recipes when you were growing up as a kid?
That's been one. The other thing is so growing up, my mom used to always throw parties and stuff, and she would constantly cater the parties herself.
Okay.
And so it was a way of actually building community through food, right? And so food is a great way to build community. It's a great way to get business done. It's a great way to just actually resolve things over food and just to build relationships, right? So what perfect way to build community other than food?
Right.
And so that's why Grandchamps becoming a restaurant was so important, because that's how my mom built relationships. That's what we saw growing up, right? We saw relationships being built through parties, her catering, and her actually inviting people over for dinner, and then just kind of like, you know, just being together with ourselves. So, you know, we spread love through food.
Yeah. So this photo was just a few weeks ago. Your mom actually came out.
Yeah, this is the first time she saw the Navy Yard location. She came out.
Aww.
Yeah, because when we built the when we first set up, she was living in Haiti, and then you know she came to New York. She had to get like a knee surgery and stuff like that. But then COVID happened, right? And then finally, you know, after she had recovered from knee surgery, she was like, "I need to see the place." Like, and so she came out. She stayed safe. You know, she put a face mask on, and she came out to see. You know, she came out to see the second location and whatnot.
Oh, that's so nice. And I love this picture is from Grandchamps Instagram.
Yeah.
And this is you with your mom when you were a little kid.
Yeah, really little. This was like one of my birthdays. She made me she made her own, like she made cakes. My mom was really talented when we were younger.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that was one of my birthdays. That was us celebrating my birthday and whatnot. And, you know, that was her giving me a cake and whatnot.
That is so sweet. And
yeah.
so back
Did you notice the matching, the dress and the matching shirt? So she made our outfits.
Oh.
Right. So my mom was like a seamstress, baker, chef. I mean, she did it all, you know, when we grew up and stuff like that. And so, you know, it just made sense for us to be able to like kind of share that experience with everybody.
And in terms of siblings, it's you, your sister Sabrina, and then you have a brother as well. Right?
Yeah. So I showed you my brother in the picture before. Yeah. So yeah, it's the three of us.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm the oldest, and then my brother. So that's my brother. Right?
On the far right?
Correct. That's my brother.
Yeah.
And then Saad.
Yeah.
And then that's my father and my mom.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah.
So I have a question. The photo from the was it the 70s? I don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The pants are a bit of a giveaway. Back at that time, was your favorite food Haitian food or?
No way! Are you kidding me? Look at how old I was back at that time. So okay. Our favorite restaurant at that time was a spot that Haitians know as McDonald, right? For years, I thought that's what the place was called. It wasn't until I got older that I found out that McDonald was actually McDonald's, right? And so McDonald's was my favorite food. But at the time, I remember the first time somebody told me the actual translation. I was like, no, that's not McDonald's. That's McDonald. That's McDonald. That's how my mom always told me to say it and whatnot. So yeah, no, Haitian food was definitely not one of my favorites. It was McDonald's.
And did you guys grow up speaking English at home, or did you speak Creole? Or
we grew up speaking a combination of both.
Yeah.
So my mom spoke to us in Creole, mostly at home, because she didn't want us to lose the culture.
Yeah.
But you know, going to school and stuff like that, we had to speak English. You know, but once we walked through the threshold, she was speaking Creole to us all day long. Right. In most cases, we would respond in English, but she'd still talk to us in Creole. Like she would be like, you know, we'd answer. She'd be like, "Go get the trash" in Creole, and we'd be like, "Yes, mom. No, mom." But she would continuously talk to us in Creole. So you know, Sabrina speaks in Creole. I speak pretty decent Creole. My brother speaks pretty decent Creole, because my mom always spoke to us in Creole when we were younger.
Yeah, sure. Oh, that's great. And so you coming like in terms of getting into the business, you really more fully became engaged with the business when you opened this location here, right?
Correct.
So had you worked in restaurants, or like what were you doing before, and like how did you end up here?
So my experience with restaurants was helping out at the Bed-Stuy location. That was my experience at restaurants. So before I worked here, I was a manager at a place called the Drug Policy Alliance, which is a nonprofit organization. And what we did was we worked on drug policy, basically the war on drugs, and looking for fairer, more humane drug policies to pass through legislation and whatnot. Then a couple of years came up, and my sister was like, "Hey, we're looking to open this other location. What do you think?" I was like, "I'm down." Like, yeah, you know, I'll manage that location. I'd be more than honored to open up a second location and be part of a family legacy. And so I love the Drug Policy Alliance. Let me just say that right off. I love that job. But like to be able to have an opportunity to build a legacy where we could build community, I couldn't pass that one up either. And so that's why we're here at the Navy Yard.
Oh, that's really, and the Navy Yard kind of went out and found you guys.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. They actually approached Sabrina and invited her to come down, and she looked at the opportunity and decided this is what she wanted to, this is going to be our next step.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I mean, it's an amazing, obviously we're in this moment of COVID, but the Brooklyn Navy Yard is also undergoing such a gigantic expansion so that there's, over 10,000 people here that are at lunchtime, when they come to work, need a place to eat. And so it's just a great opportunity.
Correct.
Yeah.
And, remember the Navy Yard was starting to build up.
Yeah.
So, there were tenants here that they were starting to, get going.
Yeah.
There were buildings across that they were starting to build, have clients for, we work buildings across. And so, yes, you're correct.
Yeah.
And the ferry is here.
Right. That's right. And you're facing, so we're standing kind of, you can see Flushing Avenue in the background. As Andrew mentioned in the introduction, this is a public-facing building, so anybody can step in here and get a bite to eat. And so
Absolutely.
it is a public space, unlike some of the other spaces that are inside the Brooklyn Navy Yard where trucks need to unload and load and unload and that sort of thing. So, I guess, this business is really rooted with people polishing the floors. So we'll hear about yeah. Well, we're waiting. If there's anybody that has questions, please feel free to share them. Okay.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. So Grandchamps is really rooted. I mean, what I love about this business is just how you guys really are doing things differently, that you are rooted in the communities where you're based, and that's always been a core. Yeah, I do think that's an important part of the mom and pop businesses all across New York City, and what makes it so unique to live here. But you guys, have built up so much around family, around community, and around kind of employment practices where you're really reaching out to the communities that you're based in and creating different kinds of job opportunities. Could you talk a little bit about that and some of the supports that you guys have provided?
Yeah, so we try to do some stuff. I mean, at Grandchamps, we look to do some stuff different.
Yeah.
So one of them is we're always looking to recruit like young people at Grandchamps, and so most of the folks that work at the restaurant are people from the community. So especially young people. We've definitely gotten criticized on stuff because like we have staff who don't speak Creole, who are not Haitian, and we're like, yeah, that's okay. We actually just want to hire young folks and give them an opportunity to be able to work and do something.
And like learn new skills, right?
Absolutely. Like, in most cases, we know that they're not going to stay with us all throughout. But there are so many different skills that you can learn in the restaurant business.
Yeah.
Aside from just being a restaurant manager or just working in a restaurant, there's a lot of people skills that you get to develop when you're working in a restaurant because you're interacting with people all the time. And so you get to practice what it's like to be with people, how to make people comfortable. And those skills carry across broad ranges. Like those are not real. And so we get an opportunity to kind of instill that in our employees if there's anything on that. So sometimes, learning here looks a lot different than just a regular classroom. It's up to the employees whether they want to take advantage of those things or not.
Right.
But we definitely would like to create an opportunity for people to work.
Yeah.
Right, and then be part of the community.
And that's really an extension, really, of the family, the culture of family that you have.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That's
where you're looking for everybody to win.
Yeah.
Right.
And there was an article in the Times not long ago about support that you were providing to your employees during the Black Lives Matter protest at the other location. What
was happening was we had a couple of employees, especially at the Bed-Stuy location, who was constantly getting stopped by the police. And it was becoming traumatizing for some, And so Sabrina decided that she wanted to do something for the employees to be able to have an opportunity to to kind of work through that trauma. And so we had a doctor, Dr. Sarenka, actually came in, and she spoke to the employees. We had like a therapy session about like everything that was going on with Black Lives Matter. At that time, the death of George Floyd was pretty fresh, and there was a lot going on. Even because just to come to work with everything that was going on, the protests, and then everything that was going on with the police. So Sabrina decided to have Dr. Sarenka come in and speak to our employees and whatnot. So we had a session here at the Navy Yard, as you can see on the slide, and they also had one at Bed-Stuy. And we also offered to employees, if they wanted to have one-on-one sessions with Dr. Sarenka. So we made that available with Dr. Sarenka for employees who, if they had some stuff that they wanted to get off their chest, or they just wanted to work through. Yeah. We made that available for them, because not everyone has access to that kind of thing. And as I got older, like I didn't think therapy was something that was important. I didn't really grow up around therapy being, but like recently when I did therapy, I started realizing the value of what it is to be able to sit down with a professional and be able to kind of work through some of your feelings and be able to kind of name those things and then figure out it's okay, and then how to work with it. For one, my personal life, and then two, to be able to come in and work. Yeah. Right? To be able to come in and still be in a comfortable work environment where you feel you're safe. Right. And so that's what we wanted to provide our employees is a place like home, right? Like you want to be safe. You want to be able to come to work. You spend a lot more time sometimes at work than you do at home. You want it to be a place where you feel comfortable, that you can grow and earn, right? And grow as a person. Yeah. Right? And so and still be productive to the community. Yeah. Figure out how that works. So yeah, it was dope. I mean, we plan on doing another session with Dr. Sarenka. I have to schedule that, so that we could just do kind of like a check-in to see where everyone is at and stuff like that. Yeah. But that's one of the different things that we're doing with we're just doing things different. Yeah. And speaking of doing things differently, right now, we have a photo on the screen for the first time. So your location here, right, it's mostly takeout, right? Correct. But last week you had your first kind of live, socially distanced live entertainment here outside along Flushing Avenue. We have some photos here. Yeah, we had a Degba and friends come out, and they came. They set up in the front here, as you can see at the Navy Yard. They had set up. We had chairs lined up all outside in front of the Navy Yard, and it was really just as we're going through COVID, to figure a way where we could bring people to come out and enjoy some music, right? Enjoy some good food, and be safe and responsible and socially distanced while we can. And so we decided to do my sister decided to have set it up with the Navy Yard to have a band come in every Thursday to kind of bring the community out, share some music, share some good food, and share some good vibes. That's great. That's great. So that means we can come this Thursday. Absolutely. This Thursday we're gonna have Skins and Strings as a band that's coming in to play for us. Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. It's gonna go from 6 to 9. Oh, nice. Yeah. So if you're in the area, come down. You can see the tables here. Yeah, you see how they're spread out and everything like that. And then, you can just open up the doors from where your we didn't keep the doors open. So people can come in, get their food, and then go right back out and whatnot. That's okay. We can see in this next photo kind of a pullback of what it looks like. Yep. And also this is good, so if people come down, they'll know where to go. Absolutely. Yeah. It's a big sign, the Brooklyn Navy Yard. Yeah. So before, in just a second, we're going to jump into Haitian food, which is why I think a lot of people have joined us today. It's been really hard, I can imagine, just as it's been for a tour company, I'm sure it's really hard for a restaurant at a time like this. And you guys were able to put a program into place during COVID a few months ago where you provided meals to people. Could you share a little bit about that? Yeah. So, when all the restaurants had shut down, everyone went frantic. It was nuts. One of the things that Sabrina and Sean were figuring is how can we stay open and still serve the community? Yeah. So during COVID, we wanted to actually thank first responders And so one of the things they did was they provided meals for families of first responders. And they had set up a donation page in coordination with La Coupe Cafe, who is located in Crown Heights. And they provided meals for first responders. People were able, people made donations towards the food, and we were able to like make the food and then deliver the food to different families of first responders. It was a really great program. We raised about $14,000 doing that. We fed, we did about 2,000 meals. So we fed like 2,000 people, right? It was awesome. On top of like we still had like Grandchamps at Bed-Stuy still was able to do takeout and delivery, and so we were still able to provide meals for folks who are stuck at home. And like thank God we still had people who supported us, right? Like they supported Grandchamps and still ordered through us and came and did takeout through us, and so we were able to kind of work through that tough time and still be able to like feed families and stuff.
Right. It's that whole thing of like when you build a business that is oriented to the community, in a circumstance like this, they've really been there for you.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a great way of putting it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Grandchamps is community.
Yeah.
Grandchamps is love. And so we did that. We worked with a local grocer. The name is escaping me right now. But what they did at the Bed-Stuy location was so our dining room wasn't available anymore. So what we did was they cleared out the dining room, and they allowed folks to be able to come and pick up their groceries from out of the dining room at Bed-Stuy. And so that program ended up growing. So now they outgrew our dining area, and they moved to a warehouse where they're providing groceries for folks who couldn't go shopping and stuff like that. Where they were able to just kind of order online and then come and pick up their groceries and then go. I have to remember the name of the food spot.
Just going to see if we have any questions here.
Sure.
So a lot of people are curious about, I'm sure, Haitian cuisine. Mm-hmm. So we can kind of dig into talk about food. So we have some beautiful, we'll start with some of the beautiful photos that we have of many of your different dishes, but I think it would be helpful, especially for folks like myself, who have eaten some Haitian food but might not know a lot about it. If you could kind of tell us like a little bit about Haitian cuisine and what some of the signature ingredients are, and how those manifest in the dishes that you guys create. So
how did you like that? How did you like that stewed chicken?
Yeah, it was delicious. We had the stewed chicken with the rice and beans and the plantains. You always need plantains.
The sweet plantains, yeah, you gotta get them ripened, and then you get them to fry and whatnot. Like,
yeah.
What was your experience with the stewed chicken?
I mean, it really is sort of complex flavors. It was also very. I mean, when you bit into it, it was just so, I'm trying to find the word because I'm just like reliving the moment.
Yeah. I don't want to put words in your mouth. So the stewed chicken is
tender. It seems as if it's been cooked.
We let it stew for a good amount of time. The stewed chicken is so a lot of our spices is like tomato based. So it's like a Creole sauce almost.
Yeah.
We season most of our meats with an épice. So an épice is kind of like the equivalent to like I don't know if you had like sofrito.
Yeah.
Sofrito. All right. So we use an épice, and an épice is like a combination of like garlic, parsley, celery, onions, peppers, scallions, and we kind of like blend it into like a paste or a seasoning.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like a paste. It's like a I don't know, because peanut butter is like a thick, like that's too much. But it's almost the consistency of the sofrito.
Yeah.
That's about the closest I can give to it. And so like we also use a couple of different spices. Pepper is one of them that we like to use. The other one is like we like to use like Scotch bonnet.
Yes, Scotch bonnet peppers. And that has a little bit of heat.
Yeah, so we're pretty tempered with it. So like the stewed chicken, you get the tang when you tasted it. That tang that you tasted was the Scotch bonnet.
Got it.
Right?
Yeah.
And so
it was there, but it wasn't like overpowering.
it's not overpowering, right?
Yeah.
And so that's how most of our foods are prepared and cooked.
Yeah.
The difference, so when you use the piece on like the the chicken, it takes on the chicken, it takes on the flavor of the meat, and it gives the meat like just a different profile.
Okay, got it.
And so that's why it was so tender for you when you're eating it. And you had that with the rice and beans.
Yes, that's right. So we
beans.
have some photos of some of your food, and then we're actually going to go into the sort of food prep area and see a sandwich being made. But here we got.
That's the classic
Haitian
patty. So listen, these I grew up on, right? And so that's why we offer them, for breakfast. It's a classic Haitian breakfast on Sunday mornings after church. You'd have a Haitian patty and coffee. The other one that we use that we have, the Haitian patties go really good with what we have like a soup jumu, right, which is a pumpkin soup. Ooh. So like the patties would go excellent with with the soups. Or sometimes if you didn't feel like the soup, many times we didn't feel like the soup, we would just eat the patties and the coffee. And so we wanted to share that kind of like breakfast tradition with our folks here. And so that's why like when we first opened up, that was one of the first things we had offered. We had we were offering the patties and coffee because it was a quick. You could come, you could order a patty, you have it with your coffee on the run, and you can go when you get it back to your desk.
That's the first thing I had actually.
Yeah.
They're mostly they're savory. They're savory on the inside.
Yeah. So we had different ones. So they're made out of chicken. There's chicken patties, herring, codfish, beef, and spinach. The go-to ones, like for us when we were younger, was codfish and beef.
Okay.
Those were the go-to patties when we were younger. The herring wasn't acquired. Like the older folks ate the herring patties. But I gotta tell you, as I got older, I started eating the herring patties. So I was like, oh my God, I was missing out on this when I was younger. And then the spinach patties for those folks who don't eat meat.
Right,
so we had the
right.
the spinach patties.
So let's see what we have. I think we have some plantains.
Those are the sweet plantains. You can never go wrong on sweet plantains and whatnot. We wait till those bad boys get ripe, and then we just kind of drop them in the fryer until they get to the right color, and then we pull them out. They go good. It's one of the deals that we use in all our plates here at the Navy Yard. We serve all our plates with your choice of rice, sweet plantain, a side salad, and then your choice of whichever the meat. So that's like the legume.
We're hearing an
that's
announcement.
about the masks, yeah.
I don't know if you can hear that at home, but there's an announcement in Building 77 related to social distancing, I think.
Yeah, and so like sometimes people just want like the rice or the plantains on their own. And so, that's what that is right there. It's just the plantains and whatnot. It's a side.
And I think we can move along here and see some of the other dishes. Oh,
okay. So this one is this is our black rice. So at Grandchamps, we use as much natural seasoning as possible, right? So the piece, if you notice, that's all like peppers, onions, right? And then to help the flavor, we would add the salt, right? Or we would add pepper. So the mushroom rice, the rice that we make here at Grandchamps, that black rice is actually made with real mushrooms. It's dried mushrooms that we prep. And then when we cook the rice in it, the rice takes on the flavor of the mushroom, right? And we normally cook them with lima beans. So the lima beans gives it like just a kind of a different profile in the rice. But that rice it's all natural. So it's made with actual dried mushrooms. We don't use Maggi. There are a lot of there are sometimes in restaurants you use these pre-prep cubes. We don't use any of those. We use fresh, we use dried mushrooms to actually make that black rice. It is so healthy for you. It's amazing.
And this is for the kinds of quantities that you guys like. You just kind of see.
No. Like I'm not selling you that quantity right there. No, that's the prep. But you know, it's one of the sides that we offer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the. That's the rice and beans. Rice and beans. So what gives the rice and beans the color is the red beans. You know, when prepping them, you know, the beans are prepped. They're seasoned with the epice as well. Salt, pepper, and then afterwards we let the beans boil up to give the water the color, and then we add the rice, and that's what gives the rice the color.
Oh my gosh, it's making me so.
Oh, it's amazing. Well, you had it yesterday, right, with the stewed chicken. Those things blend nice. So this is one of the plates that we also offer here at the Navy Yard. This is the fried pork. Also, so we call it griot. A favorite. It's one of our staples.
Griot, right?
Griot.
G-R-I-O-T.
G-R-I-O-T is one of the ways. Correct.
One of the ways.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes you'll see the spelling also as G-R-I-Y-O. Yeah. So it's griot, right? One of the and it's one of the more popular dishes. Is one of the more popular Haitian treats. In most parties, if you went to like a communion, like a communion, or you had weddings, you will not miss a pan of griot at those weddings. My mom used to make those all the time, and so it's cubed pork, right? It's also prepped in the epice, and then it's fried, and then we garnish it with onions and peppers, and then serve to order and whatnot. It's amazing.
That is amazing.
And so the griot is what we use also in our pork sandwich.
Oh, okay.
So that griot that we use is the griot that we use in our signature GC sandwich.
Yeah, and we can see that. We can see
Yeah. We're gonna put that one together for y'all afterwards and whatnot.
And so this is essentially like your our sandwiches. Is that part of like?
Nah.
This is sort of your take.
The sandwich is our take. It's really chef's take. Chef is Sean, Sabrina's husband. Yeah. And basically, he was like, we need a sandwich, but we need one that has to stand apart, right? And so what he ended up creating was the GC signature sandwich, and it's the fried pork, right? We have a remoulade that we make in house that we put on there. It's made with like mustard seed. We use the epice. Little oil to mix it up, and some other secret ingredients to give it the flavor. We lay the foundation of it with a pickled slaw that we call pickles. Yeah. Pickles is like one of those, it's like a dressing. It's one of those deals that like we keep it in a jar, and it's really spicy, right? It's sort of like, is it pickled cabbage? It's exactly what it is. Correct. Yeah. It's pickled cabbage. Is it spicy? It's super spicy. Yeah. So in a way, it's kind of akin to like kimchi and Korean chicken, right? Yeah, absolutely. It's almost that. We use it a little different. So like in like the stewed chicken, sometimes we'll add a little bit more epice to make it a little bit more spicy if we wanted to make the sauce a little bit more spicy. Some people they like to add the pickles on their rice, right? So sometimes you would have your rice. You could put a little pickles on it, and then have it give it like a little kick while you're eating it. There are other people who have the pickles with like the plantains. So like you take the plantain, you put little pickles on them and you eat it. It's like that sweet and spicy. It's spicy. It's just spicy and it's strong. Right. Yeah. Exactly. So on the grill sandwich, we put so it was the pickles, the fried pork, and then the sweet plantains to kind of ease off the bite of the pickles. The thing is, I mean, the sandwich is magic. Yeah. The sandwich is magic and whatnot. So the base of the seasoning mostly is, so the grill, like I said, is one of the more popular of the more popular dishes. We also have a legume, right? Legume? Yeah. Yeah. So the legume is a stewed vegetable. It's not a stewed, it's stewed vegetables. Okay. Right. The base of the legume is is he showing us the soup? I think this is the soup. That's the soup. Where are the legumes? Let me see if I can show him the legume. Go back one? I think so. Go back a couple, Andrew. Let me see if we have the legume up. That one right there. Right there. Okay, perfect. Okay, so that legume is it's a stewed vegetable, and it has like cabbage, tomato, onions, peppers, and what we do is we let it slow we let it slow cook into that. It is so savory. It's very healthy because it's all vegetables, you know, and so a bit of a piece is used in that as well, to make that pop. It goes really great with the white rice and sauce pois. So sauce pois is a bean sauce. It's a black bean sauce that we also make. It's pureed. It's cooked down and then pureed to make the sauce. You pour it over the white rice. And you eat it with the legume. It's magic.
So these have been absolutely beautiful photos, but we'd like to show people a little bit of.
You want to see what that looks like?
Yeah. So Andrew, if you want to pull down the sides here, we're actually going to take a little tour here in the space and have the opportunity to see Judh and his team.
Keisha's probably going to put that sandwich together for us. I'll let them get started on that while we
So you guys sell different kinds of just like you have the grocery at the other location. You have some of those kinds of things here too, right?
We have the Aksanya chocolate bars.
Okay.
That we offer here. We have the mumba, which is the spicy peanut butter. We offer some of that here.
Spicy peanut butter, what is in the peanut? Is that a thing?
The spicy peanut butter is a thing, absolutely.
Okay.
So the spicy peanut is it's all natural. And the thing that makes it spicy is we add Scotch bonnet.
Scotch bonnet peppers to the peanut butter.
To the peanut butter. And then mash it together to make it, to give it kind of like the spice.
Yeah, and then there's also coffee, there's cocoa bean, sorry, not, it's coffee beans that you guys sell here, or ground coffee, as well as just coffee if people want to come in and get it.
Yeah, and that coffee is actually imported in from Haiti as well. We have a Haitian vendor who gives us the coffee, for us to sell here. And some of the coffee, some of it has different flavors. The ones that we like that we have here, it's infused with cacao.
Cacao? Oh.
Yeah, so it gives it kind of like a chocolatey flavor that makes it kind of unique to any coffee that you're going to taste here at the Navy Yard. Wow. We also use those beans to make lattes and stuff. And so it gives a rich flavor to the lattes.
Yeah.
And even in the iced lattes.
Yeah. I was hoping that we could show people your space, and also you've worked with a business here inside the Brooklyn Navy Yard in order to put up the feature for social distancing and sort of COVID. So we'll show people the floor here. Let's show the mark
you want to turn the camera
on the floor. I think it's okay.
Okay, you got it.
All right, so we've got, please stand 6 feet apart. And then over here, I don't know if you can see this with the reflection, but we have this guard.
The sneeze guard.
The sneeze guard.
Yeah.
Which I'm going to try to show folks at home. You see that there? So tell us a little bit about this. You worked with a company that's here inside Building 77 to make this.
Yeah, well, because with everything going on with COVID, you see the letters of the
Let's
G.
see. Can you see?
Just put it up. Yeah, there you go. You got it in there.
You can kind of see the guard here.
One of the things that's been really great at the Navy Yard, they've been able to make PPEs on site. So there's masks that's been made. We have a Grandchamps mask that one of the vendors here made for us.
Oh, nice.
Which was a hip hop closet.
Yeah.
They put some masks together for us. And then we had this shield. We saw a couple of shields in the front, and then we had a company here called Imagination and Reality.
Imagination and Reality?
Imagination to Reality.
Imagination to Reality.
I2R.
Okay.
And they made this sneeze shield for us, and then they actually engraved the G emblem into it for us. They put a little swagger on the on our PPE, just so everyone can stay safe. We make sure we have hand sanitizer on the location. Everyone is wearing face masks. when working in the back and
Yeah.
stuff. You know? And so like, yeah, we have all our products on the
Oh, that's right. So we can see
we have
this
all the
here.
products that's on the online and whatnot.
Yep, so we can see this here. And I don't know if you want to take this in the back and kind of show the sandwiches that's coming together. Yeah, they're going to bring it over here.
She starts okay.
Are there any questions from the audience about Haitian food? Or about the location or anything that people are curious about? Oh, I do see we missed a question from earlier. Somebody asked if there's still a smoked herring patty. Is there still a smoked herring patty?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We have here.
Yeah. They're right in the display case.
Here, let me just bring you around here. All right, let's see here. I can't get too close, but I have Akeisha. Hey, Akeisha, say what's up to everybody. Akeisha's putting together our signature griot sandwich for me and Cindy to enjoy right after and whatnot. You know, and the signature sandwich comes with
Pickles,
the
sweet
pickles.
plantain.
What else? What else we got going on in there, Akeisha?
Remoulade, pickles, sweet plantains, and griot.
Right. And then we have a little dipping sauce that we have that comes along with it that helps kind of bring out more of the flavor in the sandwich. The meat sauce? We're open, right now we're open from 12 to 8, Monday through Friday. We're open 12 to 8, Monday through Friday. Saturdays and Sundays, of course.
Right.
Yeah. Right now we're open. Yeah, Monday through Friday, 12 to 8. Crazy stuff.
Are there any questions that people have from home? Anything people are curious about? What if for you, I mean, do you have people who work at the Brooklyn Navy Yard who speak Creole, like come in and order
Yeah.
here?
Yeah. We have a couple of folks who come down who kind of give my staff a hard time as well sometimes. Because they're like, oh, you work for a Haitian restaurant, you should speak Creole. And they're like, no, we don't speak Creole. But sometimes I'm here, and so we'll go back and forth and banter and stuff like that. But yeah, there's a decent Haitian population in here.
Yeah.
There's some folks who are very familiar with Haitian cuisine, and they love it.
And for your customers, it's sort of a mix, right? Like it's a lot of people that work here, people in the community. It's a real mix.
Now it's been a real mix. Yeah. I mean, before it was a mix because we had people who were coming through that were catching the ferry,
right?
Which was nice, right? So sometimes they weren't familiar and they were just being introduced to the food at that point. And then you have like people who are waiting for us to open in the Navy Yard within. So we had that, and now we're starting to get people from the neighborhood. So like that's why we did the band coming out to kind of be like, hey, we're here.
Yeah.
Come on out and come check us out.
Yeah.
And whatnot. We also do. We also have if you're in the area, we have we offer food through Grubhub.
Yeah.
Uber Eats and a Caviar.
Right.
So during that time, that was at a time where people weren't trying to come out, and so we set up the platform so that people can order out.
You have something here that is not. Oh, here we have your. So if you want to open this up here, so we have some food.
That's our.
I don't know. You want to open it up and show folks what we have here. So this is how. Okay. So if you want to open it up so people can see. Sorry. Oh my goodness. Okay.
It's a lot of work. It's really delicious. So as you can see in there, we have the sweet plantains, the griot, and the pickles on a club roll.
Wow.
Have a bite.
That does look delicious.
Yeah.
Okay, folks, I feel kind of guilty eating this. Absolutely delicious. Oh, there's a question here from the audience, and I think we're going to need to wrap up, but it's how much food do you make here versus at your Bed-Stuy location?
That's a good question. All of the food, all of the main platters and stuff is made at the Bed-Stuy location, and then we bring it over here. All of the marinades that we use here, we make here. So like all the citrus vinaigrettes, the pickles, we do the herb mayo here, the remoulade is made here. So all the dressings and everything that we have to put on there, we cook here, the sweet plantain.
Your
The
secret
rice,
sauces.
yeah, the rice, all of the meats we bring over in from Bed-Stuy and then prep it here.
If people want to make the pickles, that's something people could make at home, right?
I mean, they could try it, but we offer it here. You know, if anyone wants to, you know, we sell them. We also sell a Grandchamps version of pickles.
Okay, awesome. Well, thanks so much for joining us today, and we're just so grateful for you taking the time.
We'll bring the staff
also,
around.
you want to
meet my
introduce your
staff.
team?
Come on out. Gary.
Folks are watching on like Facebook Live.
Yeah.
Yes, if you want to introduce everybody.
This is the awesome staff of the Brooklyn Navy Yard Grandchamps. They're always open and ready to serve. Just come on out.
Yeah.
Enjoy some Haitian food.
Okay, take care, guys. Thank you so much. All right, we'll see you later, everybody. And hopefully you'll join us tomorrow morning to learn about the trees at Prospect Park. And we'll be going live from the park tomorrow as well. So we're just so grateful to everyone for their support.
Thank you.
And hopefully you get the chance to come on down and try out some of the food at Grandchamps. Or come down on Thursday evening, right?
Thursday.
Yeah.
Yes. Things and skins out here.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good time.
Yeah. Thanks so much. Have a great day, everybody.